One of the things
Me,
that
go
I
ahead.
know about the COVID is that, like everything else in this world, it has a spirit. It is a living, it is a living entity, and it has its reason to live, and it has its assignment and orders. One of the things that COVID, or I should say the reason COVID arrived at this time, is that it is part of a system that was going to come to the people if they failed to live in a specific way. I spent much time with the Hopi elder Thomas Banyaki because we used to travel together at different conferences, and sometimes between those times when it was our turn to give our presentations, we would have these conversations about our different stories. And one of the stories that he would always bring out was the story of the purification that was going to come if people did not change their life way in uh, in the future. And of course, this was back in the 90s when we were traveling around doing our lectures, our presentations. And he talked about this thing called the purification that was supposed to come. And I talk about it now because Thomas is gone now. But I still talk about it sometimes when people ask about, well, what is going on right now? Why are things the way they are? And then I say, well, there is this thing coming. It's called the purification if we don't change our ways. And some of the other medicine people that do ceremony with me, they know that I know some things, and they ask me, well, Patricio, is COVID the purification? And I said, no, COVID is not the purification. COVID is the reminder. It is the warning that the purification is coming or can come. This is a sample. It is like a warning shot. This is a sample of what the purification will be. Now, people who live in harmony and in balance, as you mentioned, the people who prayed for an answer to the disease, because people who live in a natural way don't have to deal with diseases the way the rest of the people do, because they are in harmony and balance. So there is a cure for every disease in nature. But if you don't work with nature, you won't be told this cure. You won't have access to it. And COVID is the warning shot. Those who have learned to continue to work with nature, ask like your people did, and ask for a way to mitigate it and make it not be so harsh, answers will come. But those who do not know this will suffer in a very serious way. But this is not the purification, but this is the reminder of what the purification will come. Because when the diseases, and there will be diseases and natural disasters, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but diseases are part of the purification. When those arrive, though, they will be many times harsher than COVID. Right now, 4 or 5% of the people that get COVID die. When the big ones arrive, it's going to be 20%. It's going to be big. Right now, they're saying hundreds of people die a day. Well, when the big ones come, they'll be dying in the tens of thousands a day, because they did not accept the warning that COVID is bringing. So this is what is going on. How to deal with COVID is really, Adam, is quite simple. And those who are listening to this really already know the answer. But thank you for reminding them that they have the answer. All you have to do is, like Violet did when she was a young girl, just ask. Just ask the plants. Or if you can't talk to the plants, just ask COVID itself. What can I do to get through this? And because it is like we are, COVID is a part of nature too. And those of us who are in harmony with all the other parts of nature can communicate if we keep that channel open. But if we don't have that channel open, we can't communicate, so we won't get answers. And unfortunately, there will be consequences for our ignorance. Another reason why I spend so much time teaching, and I will teach anyone who asks in a formal way, in a respectful way, and I will teach them things if they have the patience to learn. But that's the other downside of this. We're the human race are in trouble. I can't teach the things that people need to know in a weekend seminar. It takes years. I've got students that have been with me for years, and they're just now starting to connect with nature. And so these things take time, because I can tell you right now, you can connect with nature, but that doesn't do you any good, because you have to go through the process of doing it. Well, Blaza talked about the story of going up on the hill for days, fasting. This is a process. All of these things. That's not a weekend seminar, and it's not something you can get easily. But look at what you can get. Look at the beautiful knowledge that the universe, that nature itself is willing to share with you. This man learned how to use 400 plants. In all honesty, when I was a plant healer, I don't do that much anymore. I'm more of a ceremonial healer now. But when I was a plant healer, I only worked with 4 plants. But I knew how to work with those, excuse me, not 4, 12 plants. I knew how to work those 12 plants. I would say, hey, I've got a patient that has this and this and this and this. Who can help? Who can help? And somebody said, oh, it's me. But here's how here's. And so this is what I would share with them, and it would work. You don't have to know 400 plants. This man got an incredible gift, but it was a gift not just for one healer. It was for, I imagine it was for a whole race of people. It was for a tribe. So it had to be that big. But you can, if you have a close enough connection with your allies, your plant world or your animal world, they can do great things with you. But you have to develop a relationship. And that's what I said. Just telling you, build a relationship is not enough. You have to actually go through the process of doing that. And depending on how quick you are, it may take a short time. Well, of course, that's a year or 2 or 3 or 4, or it'll take a long time, half of your lifetime. But you can do this. And this is where we're going. This is what has to be done. And we will survive all of this. But this is what COVID-19 is really all about. It is the warning of things to come and the signal that we have to reconnect with nature, because COVID is a part of it, as we are too. And we can work with it, and it can work with us if we are open, and we have opened a channel of communication. That is all. I have spoken.